Well, hello class. Here we are, halfway through the term. That is crazy, but crazy exciting at the same time. So I have a lot to cover. Let me just say once again, and I don't want to be a broken record, but man alive, your discussions, your thoughts, your conversations, your processing, uh, so encouraging, so challenging, so fulfilling as an instructor to read, to learn from you, to learn with you, to kind of see these light bulbs. I was reading one of the papers, and so fun to see students say, I've read this book before, and yet here I am getting to relearn things. There's a class that I teach at the undergraduate level, and we read a book, and typically the class is full of seniors, and I often hear from students that they read this specific text when they were a freshman, and they're not complaining about that. In fact, I think they think, well, yeah, I can I can work my way through a little bit easier perhaps because I've already read this book. But then they open it up and they go, whoa, I'm seeing this in a different light. Things are coming alive because obviously they've matured. Yeah, I guess maybe not obviously. Hopefully they've matured, right, from where they were as a first year student to where they currently are as a senior. And I was thinking about that. If the whole purpose in this class really, as we talked about even from entrepreneurship, is this idea that we want to be people that are learning, obviously, but then unlearning and then relearning. We want to relearn kind of the way that we think about entrepreneurship. We want to relearn the way that we think about career and calling and vocation, especially. And what does that mean? And what does that look like? And how does it apply to us? And how do we help other people to have this conversation and think through these things as well? And so when you're reading Benner and the gift of being yourself, going back to when I was a undergraduate student or what have you, and now reading it once again as the student was talking about, man, it's challenging. I think it's encouraging. I think there's probably even a bit of conviction that comes in. And go, oh, I thought it was this, and now I'm realizing it's this. But that's the process. That's the joy. That's the joy of a class, especially like this. The unlearning and the relearning, with intention, with great purpose, specificity, and so forth, to really kind of get some deeper thoughts and challenging ideas, through our minds. So great job on all of your conversations. One of the things that I didn't say, I want to talk about a couple things. This is really a favorite. This is a favorite unit of mine, and I'm going to get to that in a bit. But I want to say a couple things. You have probably gathered, I would hope anyway, that I do things a bit non-traditionally. Okay, so people go oftentimes, hey, do you have any rubrics for your assignments? I don't like rubrics. Rubrics kind of freak me out, and here's why. So, and maybe not freak out. Yeah, they kind of do. I don't like rubrics because when I assign something, and I give a rubric, guess what the student is always going to do? They're always going to check the box, right? So, did I do this? Yes. Did I do this? Yes. Did I do? So they're writing to the rubric and not to the assignment. Now, other people like rubrics. Fantastic. Use them. But for me and the approach that I want to take for learning, for education, I don't think that I can, literally have a checkbox next to did you learn things. So I'm reading through your assignments and I'm thinking, okay, so what is here, right? So what's my purpose? What's my goal? And now I want you to write well. Okay, I want you to write well. But what's of the most importance to me right now? And for me, you're in grad school, okay? So that's an expectation that you write well. I have this expectation that you're thinking clearly and that you're communicating on paper, right? So in the written word, how you clearly think about things. And so if I'm seeing that for this specific class, here's the thing that I have to think through. I want light bulb moments. I want aha moments. I want new discovery and development from an educational learning standpoint. So you did these amazing brief presentations. I mean, it was so cool to have folks do these presentations and embed these videos and just the technology. I mean, I'm always so impressed by how students think and how they work with these assignments. And they were great. And you articulated where you're coming from in these assignments, which is fantastic. And then you're writing papers and you're writing responses and long responses. I mean, really thoughtful responses, amazing to me. Because you're processing things that really matter. We've got folks that run the gamut, and I love this, that we have folks that, again, as I mentioned, that are in different walks of life, vocationally, right? You're in different levels. I'm a vice president, perhaps. I'm starting my career maybe at a lower position in the organization. And yet here's the deal, and this is what I love about this idea of vocation, which we read about at the beginning of our term. This idea of vocation being that given the Reformation doctrine of vocation, regardless of where we are, regardless of what position, king. My wife is primarily, she stays at home with the children. She's homeschooling our kids. She's a part-time, very, very part-time nurse. And some would say, we've talked about this, we do this to ourselves. I'm just a stay-at-home mom. I'm just a stay-at-home dad. Or people will project that on us. Oh, he's just a stay-at-home dad. She's just a No. Hold on. None of that is true. We're not just anything. Because every single position, paid, unpaid, full-time, part-time, permanent, temporary, president, CEO, administrative assistant, clerical, runs the gamut. All have dignity. All have dignity. All purposeful. All intentional. All important. And for anybody to say otherwise, they're wrong. Now, we may be told that there is more importance here and more importance there, but here's the deal we have to think about. So if someone at this level of the organization doesn't do their job, then this person at this level of the organization doesn't function properly. They don't get to do their job because now so we each. This is the beauty of it's the body of Christ. It's the ear, the nose, the eye, the hand, the foot, the leg, the arm. Don't try to be a position of the body that you're not, but find the importance and the value and the power really in the position that you are, that you hold, how you've been created, who you've been created to be, what you've been created to do, and so forth. That's the beauty of this. And so we get into it this week and we go, okay, so here's the question. Is it possible to find meaning in meaningless work? And so, we have this perception, and we say, maybe not out loud, but we think, if I'm in this high position, there's meaning. If I'm in this, again, we've categorized them, we've classified them, we've qualified them. If I'm in this low position, there's no meaning. So the question is then, is meaning something that we inject into our work, or is work in and of itself meaningful? Or is it in and of itself meaningless? This is the $64,000 question. This is it. And I think, here's the deal. Francis Schaeffer, he wrote a great book called How Then Should We Live? He says this. He says, as a man thinketh, or we could say as a woman thinketh, so is he, so is she. Right? So how we think, so we are. Well, I would also argue, and he goes into it in further detail, as we think, we act. And so we've just spent the last 4 weeks having discussions about vocation, and we talked about entrepreneurship, we talked about meaning and calling. You've taken assessments, you've done all of these amazing things, and you have put together some thoughts and this idea of vocation. Well, now we get to week 5, to unit 5, and we ask the question, can you find meaning in meaningless work? Well, if you're not thinking properly, if you're not thinking rightly, then your answer will be different. But it won't just be your answer from your mouth, it'll be your answer with your feet, it'll be your answer with your hands, it will be the way that you do the work, it will be the way that you act, it will be the way that you be. That's where we'll see the definitive thought process of, can you find meaning in meaningless or seemingly meaningless work? So you see, we have to go through these processes. We have to have these conversations. We have to have these overarching discussions so that we, I think, can learn, unlearn, relearn, and in our relearning, think properly so that we then act properly. So I hope that makes sense. And this is what gets me so excited, because wheels are it's not starting to turn. The wheels are turning, and we're going in hyperspeed, hyperdrive. I mean, things are going quickly, and we're thinking about a lot of information that's really, really important. So I'm really looking forward to your discussions this week. I'm going to have everything graded. Grades will be up to date here very soon, if they haven't been already by the time I post this video. A couple other things that I want you to be keeping your eyes open for. Okay, so I'm going to send you out with this video some groups, and you're going to be working in groups, and you have the next 4 weeks to put together an organizational career development group project. Okay, so we're going to have you meet, right? You're going to meet via email. I would encourage you to do like a Google Doc type thing, and you're going to answer a couple of questions. What do we know about career development? And then you're going to have another discussion where you're going to choose an organization, outline a proposal. This seems like a big project, and it is a big project, but remember, there's going to be multiple people working on the project, so you all can contribute. And then we'll have this due, toward the end of the term. But I want you to really spend some time focusing on this, because right now you're doing multiple things. You're in conversation as a class. You're viewing videos. You're reading articles that are in addition to the books you're reading. You are going to be submitting your Keller book review here soon. You're working on your vocational profile and plan, and you have this career development group project. Okay, so here's the deal, though. And this is why we do this. And I think I mentioned at the beginning of the term, I teach a class and have for the past 6 years in graduate psychology, and it is titled Career Development Theories and Techniques. As part of that class, I am bringing into the discussion vocation and calling because I think it's so vital. I think it's so important to the overall career development spectrum of learning and of practice and so forth. In this class, the focus overall, for the most part, I would say, will be vocation, hence the title, right? Understanding vocation in a changing world. Things are changing, things are all over the place. We've had lots of great discussion, lots of great questions, but we can't forget that vocation happens within the sphere of career development, much like career development happens within the sphere of vocation, right? It's both. It's reciprocal. There's this back and forth. There's this if then. If we are thinking rightly about vocation, we will then think rightly about career development, and vice versa. So we can't forget about that. So as you're thinking through this project, I want you to remember there's been a number of articles that we've read having to do with career development. And when you think about this, because I have a feeling, I have a feeling that many of you will take this content, and because, first of all, it's so important to you individually, you will then take it to people with whom you work, maybe with people you work at your work. Maybe you'll start to do this work on your own. That's a very real possibility. And help people to understand from a vocational perspective how they potentially can find meaning in their work, even if they see it as meaningless. But what you're doing along the way is this hugely important aspect of career development. And you are in many ways counseling, career counseling, though you may not officially look at it that way, and I don't know that you necessarily have to, but you're working with people, maybe with clients, maybe with colleagues, friends, family members, to walk them through this process of career development through the lens of vocation. And that is so important. So I want you to be thinking about that. I'm going to put you in teams, in groups. You'll be working together. Start that conversation this week, okay? Today. I would at least get the conversation ball rolling, okay? So start a Google Doc. Read through the assignment in the syllabus. There's also a link, in the unit, here in Unit 5, in the reminders. Start working on that. Start engaging with the readings, the videos, all these discussions and things we have going on this week. You've got another assessment, the work and meaning inventory. Really looking forward to hearing your responses. And please, as you haven't done this so far, but don't hold back. If you don't agree with something or you say, I don't think you can, then tell me why. I'm really excited about reading that as well. So once again, if I can help in any way, please let me know. I haven't heard from a whole lot of you, which tells me that things are going well. I'm seeing a lot of great work. I'm reading a lot of great work. I'm not hearing a lot of, kind of back and forth between you and myself. So I think I'm okay, and I think you're okay. But if you're not okay, you need questions answered or things clarified, please, please, please contact me. Hope you have a great week, and we will see you online.